Hi, my name is Gary, and I'm sitting here in Hawaii in Lahaina in my living room and looking at some of the things that I've collected over the years. I kind of developed a web page called sacred-shopping.com. I thought the name Sacred Shopping was kind of interesting. I'd never thought anybody else would think of it, and I saw a couple other people that had thought of it also. I've done a lot of sacred shopping. I've been traveling extensively since 1993, and wherever I go, I just find wonderful things that I love, and I think that's why I got into the idea of collecting all of these things and showing them to people. And then I said to myself, wow, I don't want to be like a website for money, and I'd like to give things away. And I just saw something on television today how this girl started her website when she was 17 years old. She doesn't charge for any services that she does, and she makes all of her money through advertising. And I thought, that's really a good idea, but I said to myself, I don't enjoy wading through all the advertising that you have to go through when you get to an interesting webpage. So I said, I'd kind of like to do this without advertising, so I don't have to take up people's times with things they may not be interested in at all. And I thought I would offer things to people that, you know, had an esoteric value, maybe a cultural value, maybe a sentimental value, maybe a spiritual value, and things that I found interesting, and my wife Andrea, who found interesting in our travels throughout the planet. So I'm holding this little necklace in my hand. It's an interesting story. I went to Thailand right after 9/11 in 2001, and all my friends thought Andrea and I were crazy, and how can you leave the country? But the thing is, I didn't want to go, but I had 5 people that were traveling with us that I had agreed to take with me and look for things of spiritual value throughout central and northern Thailand. And so I said, Andrea, if these people are going, I mean, we have to go. So none of these people canceled. They all wanted to go. So we got on a plane out of Maui and went to Bangkok and had the time, very nice time. I was going to say the time of our life, but it was just a wonderful time. The people were very welcome and warming, and we had a wonderful attitude towards Americans. And then I met this Afghanistan man whom I would have never met in America, and I saw him, where did I see him? I think I was at a jewelry exhibition that they had in downtown Bangkok, and we started talking and striking up a conversation, and he said to me, oh, are you interested in some unique pieces? And I said, yeah. So I went back to his shop and he showed me some things, and you know, I looked at this, I said, oh, I love this sterling silver bead from Afghanistan with malachite and carnelian and Chinese yellow jade, and I think maybe a little lapis up here in the blue. And I said, yeah, I really like these. And he said, well, this man over here, Ahmed, I think his name was, my friend that I met's name was Ajmal, and his friend was Ahmed, and he said, well, Ahmed brought these from Afghanistan, and, you know, I think they're beautiful. And I said, well, I'd love to. So I bought a couple of these different pieces with the different gemstones and stuff, and I brought it home, and I made this great friend, Ajmal, and I would have never met him had I not traveled, pushed myself to do it, and we've been pals ever since. And I just saw him last year when I was in Bangkok, and so I got this wonderful sterling silver and jade and lapis, beautiful. So it's things like these that I kind of like to share with everybody. So not to say that it's not for profit or for profit, but it's just the idea that they're wonderful pieces, they're reasonably priced, and it pays for the website and for us to do our thing around the planet and spread, you know, American goodwill and the economy and things of that nature. So that's why, you know, I didn't want any advertisers on the website. And another thing that I specialize in is magic wands. I don't know that I specialize in anything other than things that I really like, but I was in this jeweler that we know in Bali, again, this was Bali, yeah. And I saw this in his showcase, and it was a perfectly pointed lapis rod. I mean, just magnificently created by God, nature, and the artist. And then it's surrounded by these fiery opals, all in sterling silver. And then there's a rose quartz crystal ball, I think, that you can, I found this out after I got it, that you can remove and put an amethyst crystal ball or whatever type of ball you like in there. So I thought it was really unique, so I couldn't resist it. And things like this, I love keeping for myself, and it was on a little sterling silver stand, and I mean, I love this. I think this is one of the nicest things I've ever gotten. I really like that a lot. And then I've always, from a kid, I've always heard ivory, and it's illegal, and you can't have it in America, and I can understand why. Why would you want to harm, one of the largest mammals on the planet? And so I discovered one year, I think in 1994, when I went to Indonesia, that they did wonderful woolly mammoth tusks. These are tusks that are buried in this ice in Siberia. Usually they're maybe 10, 15,000 years old, and they've been preserved in the ice. And these great carvers and sculptors from all over the world gather the ivory and carve it. So I thought, wow, this is a wonderful way to have ivory, and it's totally legal, and it's something from the past, so it gives us some history. I mean, the woolly mammoth was this massive hairy elephant, bigger than today's elephant. And I love the Buddha image and the Quan Yin image, so I try to look for those. That kind of limits my thinking and stuff. And so I found this wonderful medicine Buddha, and I think this was done by a 75-year-old Indonesian man living in northern Bali. He lives in a village where all they do is mostly woolly mammoth, and there's maybe 10 sculptors in the village, and he's one of the elders. And I think his son helps him out with the major parts, and he still does most of the detail. Notice how delicate the fingers are and the hands. And but usually when the Buddha has this in his lap, it's the medicine Buddha. Wonderful piece. So this got me so interested in ivory, and so I've been looking for ivory everywhere I go. I mean, this is a Ganesh that's they call it a netsuke in Japan, but it's all hand painted and all hand carved, and this is all woolly mammoth ivory, and just wonderful. You get this organic feeling of the animal, the earth. You get the artistic feeling from the carver, and just beautiful. So ivory has always been valued forever through mankind, and so this is a nice way to have an ivory collection where you're not endangering any species. And some of it's done on old walrus tusks that are found in the ice, and some of it's done on old whale that's found. And this is a wonderful laughing Buddha that came from China. Andrea and I went to the Chinese Expo in Quan Yin in, I think, 2001. And then these wonderful woolly mammoth pieces. And this is the happy Buddha, and always this feeling of good life, wealth, the tummy, hands in the air for joy. Wonderful symbol. And again, this is a really nice way to have a wonderful piece of ivory that's legal and not endangering anybody. And I just love it. I love the feel of it. It's just a wonderful, wonderful medium.